to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, IMAC Med Spa, and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Thomas Polucki.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, we have two guests from Henry Mayo Hospital, Dr. Malin Tao and Patrick Moody. And we're going to be talking about various kinds of cancer. Is that correct?
Well, today, or actually this month, is that marks, thank you, lung cancer awareness.
Lung cancer.
Yeah. So,
Okay. I didn't have lung cancer.
yeah.
Thank goodness. Although I was a smoker for many years, but quit.
Yeah.
1996.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Just like, I think we were talking a little earlier about breast cancer screening, which is a commonly known kind of screening. Lung cancer screening is something that a lot of smokers and former smokers are actually eligible for, to make that diagnosis of lung cancer if you have it very, very early on, akin to what we see in breast cancer when people don't feel anything, either on exam or just in terms of symptoms. So it's relevant to a lot of people that I think aren't even necessarily aware of it, just because you brought up your own personal history of prior history of smoking.
And mine came as a result from what the doctor told me of taking methotrexate
Mm,
for 6 years to curb
arthritis.
arthritis.
Yeah.
And then they stopped making the methotrexate for several months. And then I developed this pain in my chest. And I never have indigestion, because that's what everybody said it was, indigestion. I've never had indigestion in my entire life, so I knew it wasn't indigestion. And so I went into the doctor. They did either a PET scan or a CAT scan, I don't know which one, and referred me to Dr. Black, Dr. Alexander Black. And he's the one who told me I had close to 4th stage cancer, lymphoma. That was a shock. That's right. That's what I said. To be honest with you.
That's sharing, Barbara.
Well, you can't take back the truth, can you?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're really trying to promote is, even before you have that belly ache, or if you have a belly ache for just something like indigestion, and it turns out that, you go in and get a scan for that you get these things picked up early. So in the situation of lung cancer, getting a low dose CT scan to screen for lung cancer before you actually have those symptoms.
Doc, I got a quick question for you. You are a radiological oncologist.
Right,
Yes,
that's my specific specialty.
I got you, but you head up the department. But the reason I preface it with that is how do you feel about the low dose CT whole body scan? Like, just as a preventative measure, take a look at everything. And if you are a fan of that, how safe is it to do that on a regular basis? Like, how many of those is it realistic to do in order for prevention? Like, when do we start that process? So I'm sorry, I threw like 10 questions shotgun at you. So first of all,
I'm following you.
Yeah, the CT scan as a preventative measure. Are you a fan?
So I think, and actually, Patrick and I were just having this conversation coming over. One thing I just want to say first is, any kind of imaging that's being done for screening of X, Y, or Z is not a preventive thing. It's to detect early.
Right.
So oftentimes patients will come in, and the classic example might be a breast cancer patient saying, I get my mammograms every year. I'm so religious about it. why would I have breast cancer? So the implication is that the screening scan or the mammogram was actually a preventive measure, but it's not.
Right.
So if we can't prevent something, which we were discussing earlier, at least let's catch it as early as possible before it's really a big problem. And we can relatively easy take care of it and go on with our regular healthy lives. But in terms of widespread recommendation of a regular low dose CT scan of, let's say, the whole body, it's all about sort of risk benefit ratio, right? So if you're generally a healthy person, you generally don't have, let's say, a risk behavior that would put you at risk for, let's say, lung cancer or something else where you could do a more directed screen. Getting a regular low dose CT scan, which has to be done regularly. So it's not just one point in time, clean bill of health, you're never going to have something to begin with. The whole idea is you want to pick up something early. So things grow slowly. So you have to get that done annually. You're exposing yourself every year to a certain amount of radiation because even though it's low dose, it's still some radiation and it's
Sure.
to the whole body. So
Yeah.
it's not just to one area. For a situation in which you probably have a very, very, very low risk of detecting anything that's problematic if it's not being done for, again, a situation where you have a risk-taking behavior that would put you at risk for that. Plus, and people don't necessarily realize this, we get things picked up in our bodies all the time that turn out to be completely meaningless.
Right.
So I often say to people, it's like we have moles on the outside of our bodies, which don't mean anything. People are like, that's just a mole. And in fact, it often is just a mole. We have moles on the inside of our body, but we don't really know what they are until they get pursued. And then people get anxious about that quote,
Sure.
mole inside their body, and they get a biopsy, and
Right.
lo and behold, they have a bleed, and lo and behold, and it turns out it was
Yeah.
never anything, but it all got instigated because you were worried you might have something, so you went in every year to get a
The
low-dose
dreaded
CT.
shadow.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
the shadow.
The shadow.
There's a shadow on the lung. Wait, what?
Well, maybe when the sun turns around, that shadow will go away.
Exactly. 2 years later, oh, it's nothing. What?
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People think, oh, well, it's going to be a definitive test. The more sensitive a test, the less definitive it is. So
Yeah.
the better the test, the less.
You pick up noise.
Yeah.
It's like white noise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People will say, oh, I've been getting a screening mammogram every year. Why didn't I see it? Why didn't they see it until, or sometimes it'll actually miss something. And I tell people screening mammograms in the very best of hands are probably 80% pickup.
Right.
That's in the very best of situations. And it's much lower in the average person. So it's not a perfect test. It's just sort of what we have that's commonly available.
What about, I know this is a little outside of me, the reason I posed that question to you was because you're a radiological oncologist. What about the standard blood tests? Are they going to pick up stuff in time? Because that's certainly a lot less invasive. I mean, people can afford to give some blood for a test. It's not that big a deal, but how sensitive, how specific are those tests?
So just the routine stuff, when you go into your regular primary care doctor for your annual stuff and they do your complete blood count and your chemistries and stuff like that, that's just to pick up, sort of general aberrations that can happen. Maybe you're starting to develop a little diabetes. Maybe, your blood count's a little bit off. That might indicate something about your bone marrow, something like that. Generally speaking, they're not meant to pick up any kind of cancers. And they're not being done for that purpose. There's a whole field that's opening up called liquid biopsies, where people can give blood or just do a regular, phlebotomy. And we're looking for certain mutations actually that are linked to cancers, because that's generally speaking how a cancer starts. As a cell develops a mutation and then it just sort of grows unchecked and it becomes big and then it spreads. So that's the whole sort of evolving history behind cancer. But you can pick up just a few of those cells that may already be sort of coursing through your body and your blood, and then magnify them through these techniques that we were talking about earlier, where you just amplify, if you will, the signal and actually be able to pick up these kinds of mutations. again, we haven't quite honed it yet to figure out like what is the best panel to look for and who's the right person to be really doing this. Because again, we're going to pick up a bunch of garbage. It's going to make you
Sure.
so anxious that you're just brewing a cancer when in fact you have nothing. So,
How do
but
you
yeah,
how do
that's
you feel
coming along.
about dogs? Like, how the cops have drug sniffing
Oh,
dogs.
using their
There are
extra
cancer sniffing dogs.
senses to,
Yeah.
yeah, honestly,
There are cancer sniffing dogs?
Yeah.
Really?
That I'm a
Phew.
little bit
You learn something new
outside
every
of
day.
the mainstream on this one, but I just wanted to know what, a classically trained USC radiological oncologist has to
keep
think
adding it on.
has to think about. The list is too long. But how do you feel about that? I mean,
To
I
be
know my
honest with
dog
you,
can smell when something's wrong.
yeah.
I know that for a fact, and with a little bit of training, I know you can train a dog to sort and sift and differentiate different stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know actually a lot of the details of that. And I think honestly, it's actually not well understood, a lot of the
yeah,
details of that. And animals can have extraordinary senses, like beyond what you and I can even fathom, right? That's
yeah,
why they're able to do these kinds of things that you and I were like, I wouldn't be able to smell something like that. But it's certainly possible that sort of metabolic perturbations in your body, or even just like um, emotional behavioral things. For example, there are these companion dogs or medical dogs that, let's say, people who have seizures
yeah,
will have accompany them, and they can sense when their owner is going to have that, and they literally put their owner in a position of less danger, and then they comfort them while they're having their seizure.
yeah,
So I don't think we know what it is exactly they're sensing, whether it's something metabolic or whatever it is. And every cancer, I mean, this is also a fallacy. People think cancer is cancer. Well,
yeah.
cancer
No,
is like a million diseases,
yep,
right? So each different kind of cancer is going to have some kind of, perturbation in your body that's different from the other one. So, but yeah, I like where you're going. The idea of trying to use things that are relatively non-invasive. And imaging, to be honest, is one of those things, although there is the exposure of radiation. And that's why we try to do things in a limited way, meaning just to a certain area of the body where you have the risk, low dose, and all those things, and to try to pick something up as early as possible so that you can actually take care of the problem
yep.
without
So,
much effort.
Patrick, what is your role in this situation?
So I'm Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital. And my role this month is just to bring attention to Lung Cancer Awareness Month, which November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. There are a few things going on at the hospital this month. Probably the biggest event is next Wednesday, November 15th. We have a series of events called Girl Talk, which is when we put together a panel of medical experts and we invite women. I mean, men can come, but it's really designed for women to come in, and they can ask questions in sort of an informal environment of medical professionals. And we have one next Wednesday, November 15th at the hospital that's going to focus on lung health and specifically for Lung Cancer Awareness Month. People can register at henrymayo.com/girl talk. So that's one thing. And then on Saturday, Tower Imaging, which is an imaging facility on the Henry Mayo campus, is going to be open from 11 to 2 with a special focus on low dose CT scans and education on lung cancer and lung cancer awareness. So these are a couple of things that we have going on. I mean, the whole idea behind these recognition months is to try to call attention to the condition and also raise awareness about what people can do for early detection. Dr. Tao and I were talking in the car on the way over here. I just asked her, I said, do you see cases very often where if you think, gee, if that person if it would have been detected sooner, it'd be a lot easier to treat. And you might want to just say, how you answered that question.
Yeah. I mean, the very, very sad truth about lung cancer is that generally speaking, when it's diagnosed, it's very locally advanced and it's a very, very difficult thing to cure. And that's the state at which people start to have symptoms. So it's such a lost opportunity that patients don't get the kind of screening they should get, because when they are screened, they're generally picked up as little tiny nodules. We're talking about like a little centimeter nodule that, of course, you would never be able to feel. And those patients need relatively little treatment, sometimes non-invasive treatments, even if they are very elderly and have lots of other medical problems, and we can cure them relatively simply. I just saw an elderly gentleman who accidentally had a nodule picked up because he had a cardiac a coronary artery calcium scan, which is very popular now too, and they picked up a lung mass. And he's 84. He's got lots and lots of medical problems. We were able to give him radiation treatment over just 5 simple sessions. He didn't even feel them, and he's probably going to be cured. It was very, very straightforward.
Where does COPD enter into this?
So smokers have a risk of just damaging their lungs in general.
Right.
So they get damage to their lungs, and so that's called chronic obstructive pulmonary PD disease, also known as emphysema. It's basically just damaged lungs. And people who have that also have a risk for developing lung cancer, because it's the same thing that caused the damage for the lungs can also
my husband had COPD and he developed pneumonia.
Yeah.
And was in Henry Mayo for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
While they were treating him.
Yeah.
And the doctor wanted to put him in a rest home. And he said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He said, I'm getting treatment in this hospital, period. End of anything.
Well, so bringing our attention back to Henry Mayo, you were mentioning that the tower imaging, which is on the Henry Mayo campus,
I've been there.
Not only do we have low dose CT lung cancer screening available there, and I think it's on this weekend, actually.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. They're going to actually have an open house specifically for that, so people can literally walk in and get their screening scan or get more information. We actually have a whole program about that. So it's not only lung cancer screening using a low-dose CT scan, but we track patients who have nodules that are picked up. It spawns a whole multidisciplinary discussion. We have a team behind that to determine, should you just get another scan? Just like the way you would a mammogram. It's like, oh, they're following something on a mammogram kind of thing, but they haven't decided to biopsy. So you know when you're going to get biopsies. So it's a pretty involved process on the back end. And I think Tower is ahead of the game in terms of really having a well formed out process for that.
So the events are running this whole month?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Specifically at Henry Mayo, what are the details on this event?
So the tower imaging open house is this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tower imaging, again, is on the Henry Mayo campus. And then the Girl Talk event on lung health is Wednesday, November 15th at 5:30. And people can register at henrymayo.com/Girl Talk, all one word.
Awesome. So
it's just another reminder also, talk to your doctor when you go in regularly. I mean, they're supposed to be screening you for breast cancer, for lung cancer, for prostate cancer if you're a guy. So these are all ongoing programs. Just this month, we're just trying to level up the awareness.
Yeah. And it's time of year where you're going to be more aware of your lungs, maybe more so than ever before. So it's good timing that you have this event where people are a little more self-conscious about their lungs, like, oh, maybe I should go in for that free talk or screening. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Tao, Patrick. Thank you so much for your time here. It's Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And Henry Mayo is your source of information. You're listening to Senior Hour, KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, HometownStation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your Hometown Station 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is Rose Upshaw from Preferred Glass and Windows.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be
Good.
back.
Yeah, it's good to have you
And
back, Rose.
What goes on
Thanks.
in your company?
Well, we do everything glass. So that is windows, showers, mirrors, glass shelves, glass tables, doors, everything you need for your home regarding glass, commercial and residential.
Oh, you must be very busy.
We are very busy, and it's actually a very busy time because it's holiday season.
Sure.
So a lot of times during the holidays, people want to do some repairs because they know they're going to have family over. The family's going to come over for food and meals.
Things
And
are going to get
yes,
broken.
well, hopefully not. But it's a great time to do some upgrades to the home so everything looks lovely for the visitors.
Yeah, you did mirrors in my house. It was amazing. And here's the thing. Here's what puts, as far as I'm concerned, Preferred Glass ahead of the pack. There but I don't remember the exact detail, but there was a problem not with the installation, but it developed, within a couple of days. We have floor to ceiling mirrors, and one of them shifted a little bit. And I don't know how to fix that, right? So we called them in, and they got right in and fixed it like within minutes, and it was taken care of. So, in this day and age, customer service is a pleasant surprise. So, you're always looking for things to be done right, but it's more important when something goes wrong that it's immediately taken care of. And
Yes.
I can testify that Preferred Glass took care of us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that testimonial again. I love hearing it. We are local. So that's one of the advantages we have. We're
Oh,
right here
yes.
in Santa Clarita. We've been open since 1969. So we have a long-standing reputation. You know that if you buy from us, we're there. You need any upgrades, need anything fixed, we're able to come out. It's not far for us. We're right on Soledad and Bouquet. So I love that, especially for seniors, because you don't want some type of fly-by-night service. Someone you find,
Yeah.
you're not sure if they're licensed, you're not sure where they're from, but they can do the work and they come and do it. That's great. But what happens over time?
Yeah.
So we have a warranty. We have a showroom locally. You can always come in. You can always call us. I really like working with seniors because our team, we take our time. We even go out with displays for seniors who are not able to come into our showroom. We make house calls sometimes. We will go and show you samples of different finishes, different colors, different options so that, our customers can take their time and make the right decisions for their home. Because what's more important than where you live? Where you spend your time, your home, it is so important to make sure that it's in good hands, and you're always in good hands with Preferred Glass.
Yeah. And so you're doing windows?
Yeah.
Like the full house of windows, like all the windows, the
Yes.
installation. Okay.
Yep.
So that's huge. And I'll tell you why. We had our windows replaced when we moved into the house because they were like the original, like single pane. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like there shouldn't even be a window there.
Right.
I felt like I was living in a castle. So, and I don't mean in a good way. So we had them replaced, and some of them were the best. And I'm not going to give any plugs here today. And then some of them were not the best. And for the first couple of years, we really couldn't tell the difference. And then it always felt like there was a breeze in the house, and we were trying to track down the breeze, breeze, couldn't figure it out. And then Halloween, we had some fog machines outside, and all of a sudden, the kitchen is filling up with fog, and the door is closed. And I finally figured out,
where the leak is.
I guess the seal in between the two sliding doors it wasn't a seal at all. So if
Wow.
that fog can get through there, I knew where the breeze was coming from. So yeah, so it isn't. The reason I even brought this up is it may cost a little bit more to get the best, but with our extreme temperature changes in the summer and in the winter, it easily pays for itself in a very short period of time because
Yes.
heating and cooling your house is probably one of the biggest expenses that seniors have. Right, Bob?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So when
Even
you
when you have solar power,
Yeah.
it's still
you
expensive. Yeah.
you still get an elevated electric bill.
Sure.
And so it seems like the hot season is over and we're tiptoeing into the cool season.
We got both. We got both going
Yes,
on. We
we
got
have.
100-degree days and
Yeah.
40-degree nights.
Oh
It's
my
it's
goodness.
insane.
Doesn't make
So
any
extreme.
sense, does it?
Well, the good thing is that when you have properly installed windows, when you upgrade your windows to dual pane, because a lot of homes that were built, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s had single pane windows, and those are not energy efficient.
Right.
So you want to do the energy efficient upgrade, the dual pane upgrade, because it'll save you not only on your cooling bill, but also on your heating bill.
Right.
So every season throughout the year and on these days when we have both very hot days and very cold nights, you're still saving money on your energy bill.
That's right. Well, when we changed our atrium and made it a living room, we had to have windows up above, and they had to be dual paned also.
Yes. Yep.
And that's very interesting. And I love those up there. I can pull
I'm sure it's
shade when I want
beautiful.
to,
Yeah.
and open it when I want to. Oh, it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. It really is.
Amazing. So right now we're actually doing a special deal
Ooh.
for seniors this month. So the first part of the deal, because it's dual, just like the panes. So the first part of the deal is $100 off sealant, the protective coating for showers. We know there's very hard water up here in Santa
Yeah.
Clarita. And what we also do is register the warranty for our clients. So
Right.
when you buy product from us, we handle the warranty, make sure it's in your name. So if you call and something needs to be repaired and it's within the warranty, we will help with that process. We don't just leave it to you like, hey,
Okay.
figure it out. So your information is in our system. We have the warranty dates and what the warranty covers, and we enjoy helping our clients in that way and holding their hands through the process because, again, your home is so important. So that's the first half
And
of the deal.
especially with seniors, because sometimes they don't have the help they need.
Exactly.
And as you get older, your mind sort of goes, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and even the best sealant, because I gotta talk to you. I gotta
Yeah.
talk to you. Even the best sealant, because it was done by Preferred Glass, but it was done over 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So even the best sealant over time, the corners might get a little funky.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having to deal with the hard water and you're having
Yes.
to try to keep that glass look clean, you're going to use something to clean the glass, and that's going to beat up on that sealant.
Right.
So what happens? Do you come in and redo the sealant in that case, or
So
how's
it's
that look like?
the protective coating that goes on the shower glass helps with the calcium in the water, right? The hard water. We can always come in and help update whatever you need. So we will check to see if it falls under the warranty and if the manufacturer can help with that. And then we go into all the options. We have financing. We are very creative. We are solution oriented. So whatever the issue is, please call us. Preferred Glass and Windows. We're located at the corner of Soledad Canyon and Bouquet. And our website is preferredglassandwindows.net. And you can also give us a call, 661-255-1170. We spend a lot of time on the phone, going through details with customers, sending photos back and forth. And we also will make house calls for our clients who aren't able to come to our showroom.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wait, so you want to hear the second part of the deal?
Yeah. Okay, so that was just part one.
That was just part one. So part two is a nice 15% off of all window installation. Because again, we know it's holiday season and people may want to make some quick upgrades. We do our best to be as efficient as possible. Of course, there's so many variations when it comes to windows, different suppliers, different styles, but we do our best to get everything in stock and serviced as soon as possible so that it can be installed in a timely manner. Sometime same week, sometime next week. But we want you to take advantage of this offer for 15% off window installation so that everything can be nice and new when your family comes to town for the holidays.
Yeah, and cozy. You know, we're
Yes.
lucky that we do have pretty moderate weather here, but sometimes we don't. And it's it's not nice when you feel like a cold breeze going through your house and you're like, what the heck is going on? I
Right.
got the heater cranked and it's still cold in here. So
Yeah, we want your family to be warm and cozy so you can focus on what matters, like the food.
yeah, there's going to be plenty of that over the next couple of weeks,
So
several
this
weeks.
dual promotion is going on all month. So the rest of November, please call in and take advantage. We are here to help.
That's awesome. Okay, so new windows or I personally know about the entire bathroom setting because you guys handled my the glass. It's not really in one bedroom in one bathroom you did a whole glass door thing, and in another you just put up a glass wall for the shower. They're both amazing, but like I said, that I guess it's sealant or caulking in the corner
Yeah.
that got beat up a little bit, and I probably need some help with that. The mirrors are outstanding.
Perfect.
Because we had to replace mirrors, and the ones prior to the ones we got from Preferred Glass, they were blacking on the back.
Gotcha.
You know, where water would get in or steam would get in behind them, the reflective coating would turn black or
Yes.
something. I don't know
It
how that
starts to
works.
wear.
Yeah. So and that's not happening with these. So that's
So
great.
glad to hear it. Glad to
Yeah.
hear it's all working out. We love to hear from our satisfied customers.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you
thank
got
so much.
5-star on Yelp.
Thank you. And yeah, if you need more support and assistance, please give us a call. Please reach out. You've got the inside track.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. And again, you can't say it too many times. Phone number?
yes, 661-255-1170.
And if somebody is driving right now and they shouldn't be calling you on the phone, you can find this information on the Hometown Station website. But just in case someone is near a computer, what's the
Yes, the
address?
website is preferredglassandwindows.net, all spelled out. And our email is customerservice@preferredglassandwindows.net.
Now, Preferred Glass and Windows, A-N-D?
Yes, A&D.
A-N-D. Well, that's unusual. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, we try to keep it simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
Everything's spelled out.
Well, I don't know whether we used you when we had all of our windows replaced, because Russ took care of that.
Mm.
And that was 5, 6, 7 years ago when we got all that done. Because when we had that atrium made into a living room,
Yes.
that's when we had all the windows replaced, because they were single pane windows.
Yeah.
And had been, because the house was, 67, 66, somewhere
Wow.
over there. It's across from Friendly Valley.
Yeah,
The
I'm
housing
not
type.
sure when the switch happened as far as single pane to dual pane in most, new homes and building, but we see a lot of single pane.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, so it sounds like 70s, maybe even 80s, they were still
Yeah.
It was
doing single
definitely
pane.
the 80s because our house was made in 1980 and we
Okay.
had single pane. You think you can get away with it in California. They don't think that houses need to be windproof or waterproof or anything. Well, they do.
Oh boy, do they
Yes.
ever. But what
Yes.
a difference to have double paned windows
It
Yeah.
makes a huge
and doors.
difference.
It
Okay.
really does.
Rose, one last time, give us the contact deets.
Yes. So if you want to give us a call, the phone number is 661-255-1170. We are Preferred Glass and Windows, and you can find us.
A&D.
Yes. You can find us online. Our website is preferredglassandwindows.net, everything spelled out. And our email address is customerservice@preferredglassandwindows.net. It's a lot of words, but it's worth it. And of course, if you're local, please stop by our showroom at the corner of Soledad Canyon and Bouquet.
Thank you, Rose.
Yes, well, we still have some more time to go. So if you have more information to offer, right?
Yeah, you're listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, HometownStation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Rose Upshaw, who is an owner of Preferred Glass and Windows.
Yes, part of the team. So we have a
Part of the
great team, and we all work together to provide the wonderful services.
And you've been out here for how long?
I've been in Southern California since 2008. I'm new to the Santa Clarita Valley. I've been here since May.
So how do you like it up here?
I love it. It was very hot this summer, so I got to
Really?
experience that. And now these winds are here, so I'm getting to see all the seasons.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely place to live in. It really is. I've lived here since 1968.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I've loved every minute of it. It's been fantastic.
I love to hear that. It sounds like this is a place where people come and they stay, they have families and really make it home. So I love seeing that.
Yeah, it's a little less, it's a little easier to live here than in a city. Like, city is
Yes.
great when you're young, but it gets harder. Most cities, it gets harder to live in the city as you get older and, your needs and your tastes change over time. Santa Clarita is a bedroom community. It's
But
just,
we are a city also.
yeah,
The best of both
But
worlds.
it's a different kind of city.
different kind of city.
Yes.
Nice.
So Preferred Glass has been here since
69.
69.
1969, yes.
So that says a lot for,
company
this is a
itself.
local company. They've been around for 51 years or something like that. I can't do the math.
I don't even try to do the math.
Right?
Yeah.
50 some
And
odd years.
counting.
And counting.
And you
And-
probably put the windows in our house.
Yeah.
Probably.
It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Although
Yes.
Russ handled that. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah. And they're working great for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Glad
And-
to hear it.
I get them cleaned on the inside,
Perfect.
but they're dirty on the
Oh, no.
outside. You can clean inside, but
Right.
oops. No,
Yep.
I'm not going to go over there and dig behind the bushes and the trees trying to clean them.
So, Rose, one last time,
Yeah.
tell us about your offer and your
Yes.
contact information, please.
Thank you so much. So we are running a special this month. So for the month of November, seniors can enjoy a special 2-prong discount. The first prong is $100 off the protective coating that goes on showers to protect against calcium buildup in the hard water out here. The second prong of the discount is 15% off window installation. celebration. And so that's a special we're running for seniors this month of November to get prepared for the holidays and having family over. So if you want to take advantage of that discount, if you're a local senior, please give us a call. Our phone number is 661-255-1170. We are Preferred Glass and Windows. You can find us online at preferredglassandwindows.net, and our email address is customerservice@preferredglassandwindows.net. It's a lot of words, but promise you it's worth it.
Rose, thank you so much. I can vouch. Preferred Glass
Thank
is
you.
the only people we will deal with for our glass. We made the mistake of working with other people in the past.
We won't hold it against you.
And I can say that Preferred Glass just takes care of everything that needs to be taken care of. You've been listening to Senior Hour at KHTS 98.1 FM AM 1220, HometownStation.com. We're sponsored by Providence Holy Cross, Comfort Keepers, and iMac Med Spa. Now go out and enhance your quality of life.